Every day it is the same darkness, the same ritual for Munwabisi and his family, for them and for the thousands of others getting ready for work.
Ndingumzali, ndinabantwana, ndinesapho ndiyondla. So sendiyenza ngokunyanzelekileyo loo nto leyo. Sekuqina kwentliziyo because kuba ndingafuni into yobana ngaba ndisafarishe abantwana bamenzala yam. Nam okanye ndisafale, ndiphethe kwezinye izinto, mhlawumbi sendilisela, sendingutsotsi, whatever, okanye sendisenza any crime. So it's better because andifuni uphala.
Azambe.
Slowly, human shadows gather at different corners of the slum. Like the others, Munwabisi easily spots the truck that will bring him to the farm. At the end of the road, 13 hours of work await Munwabisi and his companions. Impossible for us to go any further. Munwabisi works in one of those farms where time and politics don't seem to have changed much in the past 20 years. We are not welcome. Tourists are sparse around here, but everybody may have had a taste of the region. This is the land of South African table grapes, one of the country's riches. Europe, the Middle East, Asia, 2,008,000 tons of South African grapes are exported each year. They mainly come from here. Stoffland in Afrikaans means land of dust. It's difficult to know how many people live in the shacks. Nobody really keeps track. South Africans, immigrants, legal or not, from Zimbabwe or Lesotho, permanent or seasonal, altogether they might be as many as 50,000. They all live off the table grapes. Even in South Africa, no one had really heard about Stoffland until November 2012, when workers dared to go on strike. 3 months of blockades, 3 months of fighting, which succeeded in paralyzing the local economy. Sean was one of the leaders.
We were working from 6 o'clock until 6 o'clock. We get only one lunch from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. So even the manager there was rude. The supervisors were rude. We were pushing people around, saying whatever they want to say to the people. So, but now since the strike have happened, everything started to have a shift. But there is a difference than before, because before we were getting 69 rand, now it's 105. But not all the farmers are paying that 105. There are good farmers that are paying around 117, 125. And there are those who are still paying the 80 rand and 95 rand. And the money that we are working from the farms, not that much, because you still have to buy clothes and stuff and food. So it's very sad. And the poverty is high. Not everyone can survive.
Despite some electrical lines and a few water points, the place is just a jumble of corrugated iron, cardboard, and rubbish left in the open.
Nobody cares, no, even the government, not anyone. So the feeling is there each and every day when I wake up. I see the feeling. There is a lot of change since the apartheid, but the conditions that the people are still staying on. So I still believe that we are not celebrating anything. Only the rich, the elite are celebrating. The working class is still struggling to continue with living. So there's nothing to celebrate.
During the day, the entire slum is a ghost town. Men who work leave at 5 a.m., women an hour later. Babies are left behind. Many nurseries had to be improvised. Petronella, she arrived 6 years ago from Zimbabwe, owns one of them. At 44, she concedes it is a good business. 50 rand per baby left for the entire day in the dirt of a small yard.
It's not munzvimbo inoyedhi dorenzi vana havana kugara zvakanaka. Hamuna mushonga inofiritwa kana nhunzi kana zvinoita zvazvo zvekuti nhunzi area ukataura inogona kufiritwa nhunzi ita shoma. Hamuna.
Older children are at school. There are 9 in the area. Education is not free, 100 rand per household. Different grades are mixed in the same classroom. The quality of education is poor, and the real highlight of these schooling hours is the free meal distributed for lunch.
No, it's not bread. Let's pray. Let's pray again.
God is good, God is fair. Thank you for the food, amen.
At school at least, they can cope because there's food for them. By the environment at home, we can't do anything about the environment at home. Because especially during off-season, when there's no work, you will find some of the parents loitering, also looking for food. As a person who grew up in this place, see the population in Dorings, it's a very overcrowding. There's a lot of crime now. Pupils are using drugs, which were not here before. A lot of learners or children are at squatters even now. I would like to see them educated, not going back to the farms. Being a product of working on a farm, me too. I told myself I won't go and work on the farm. So I won't like to see any kid I am educating working on a farm. It's my duty to try to encourage and even try to educate parents. The main reason of educating their kids, not to go and work on the farm, but to try to give them a better living.
That's your hope, but in
That's
reality,
my hope.
what are the odds?
Oh, but in reality, it doesn't happen.
Men have been cutting grapes for the past 3 hours. 10 more to go. This is their first 15-minute break of the day. They will stop for an hour for lunch and 15 minutes again in the afternoon. The 180 employees are paid the minimum wage, 105 rand a day, but here one can make up to 200. The more you harvest, the more you make. Women, with the precise movements of their hands, prepare the packaging of the grapes, 18 tons a day. They will end up on the shelves of our supermarkets. The organization is similar on every farm, but in some, where cameras are not allowed, the working conditions seem horrendous. In a recent report, Human Rights Watch denounced farms where even access to toilets was denied to the workers during the day. The season is short, the process quick. Once cut and packed, the grapes are sent to a storage facility where they will be dispatched to Cape Town Harbour. Less than 3 weeks later, the grapes will be on many European tables. In the winter of 2013, the Social Development Department reported that the Dorans had one of the highest rates of malnutrition in the country. Lack of food, lack of hygiene as well, the youngest are the first victims. Like all the children in the world, those of Stoffland have make-believe tea parties. In the dump, in the center of the slum, they share rotten food and discarded chemicals.
We have a lot of children with that is very, very underweight. And due to that, they also end up with loose stools, diarrhea, and also with severe pneumonia as well. What we also experience is that we speak to the mothers on a daily basis, bring your sick child to the facility, but the first thing they do is take the sick child, go to the creche, leave the sick child there, and they go to work because for them, they need the money. They are desperate for that.
How far pregnant are you? How many months? Do you have enough pills?
Yes, I do. No problem, it is all right. It's moving.
Wat staat er met die inspuitingkies? Mama. Pima, cool.
There will always be a need for more money, but what we try and do is try and do the best we can with what we have. And that forces us to think smarter and work smarter so that we can enhance the patient's experience with the resources that we have. But the need is much greater. If I think where we were with primary healthcare services 10 years ago and how far we've moved forward, it's actually, I think, exceptional what the department has done.
Well, we also have a high rate of HIV as well. We have 1,500 ARV patients, and we also have TB in this community. We have a lot of social problems. We have unemployment issues, and as you said previously, is the abuse, alcohol abuse also.
At dusk, dozens of trucks start following their morning tracks. Like Munwabisi, the workers are dropped off where they have been picked up.
Ya ndiva ndidiniwe ngalo lonke ixesha uthi ndihambe ixesha elikaka because 13 hours ininji kakhulu for ukuphangela. Banobundlobongela because ngalo lonke ixesha basoze bathethe nawe soft njengamntu osebenza phantsi kwabo. Soloko bekufoster kwinto yonke oyenzayo, soloko uyenza by forced. So baya violent ngolo hlobelo. Yaye xa ufumene ukulimala emsebenzini uthathwa nje ubekwe nje pha for few minutes uphinde ubuyisele emsebenzini. Xa uthe wahlaselwa yilonto ikuhlasele emsebenzini sisigulo okanye uyophathwa inhloko ngenxa yelanga ukuthini uvele nje uthathwe for few minutes ubekwe pha uphinde ubuyisele emsebenzini. Akukho ba corrupt yaye i-service asinazo. Bangabe ulimele no payment. Uzawuhlala bangabe ugqirha uthe hlala for 2 days uhlala nje without payment. So ngenye ixesha ndingane eza poison zakhela apha emzimbeni ndiye ndifumane into yobana ngaba impilo yam ayisentlanga ndingekade ndiyenze le nto ndiyicingayo ndiyinqwenelayo ngentliziyo yam okanye ndisutywe kukufa ndingekade ndiyenze loo nto leyo. So ndiyacinga into yobana ngaba kuloo nto leyo akekho omnye umzali ongabe bangamfumana ongane mhlawumbi abe nele phayini ndinayo ngabo.
In clusters, the shadows of Stoffland make their way back to what they call home. Just an ordinary day in the land of dust.